And so June of 2016, I was working an internship in New York City at the time. And I was in New Jersey. I was commuting into New York, and the commute was like 2 hours one way. So it was 4 hours total. So it was a little bit of a haul.
Yeah.
But I was excited. It was like my first job in New York City. And I started noticing that I started feeling more of an urgency to go to the bathroom. And then I started noticing a little bit of blood in my stool in June. And, and I don't know if it was just stupidity or thinking I was invincible or embarrassment. It was probably a combination of those things. I just didn't tell anyone about it. I was like, oh, it'll just, it'll work itself out naturally. It's fine. And then as the summer went on, the urgency got more and more. There was more and more blood. And by the end of that summer in August, I was literally going to the bathroom over 20 plus times a day.
Wow.
I ended up losing almost 30 pounds. I ended up I checked myself into the ER the last day of my internship. I had to leave early because I literally just, that 2-hour train ride that I referenced, it literally became unbearable. I was in the toilet the entire time. So I got a colonoscopy, got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is an inflammatory bowel disease that affects your large intestine, your colon. It's actually most common. It's with men in their 20s. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know why that is, but it's an autoimmune disease. So what they tell you is that there's no cure. The best that they can do is put it into remission. So they put me on these very expensive biologic drugs. The drug was called Remicade, and it cost, I would get a blood infusion every 8 weeks, and each infusion cost $50,000.
Damn.
So luckily, I had really good insurance, but $400,000 per year. And they tell you that you're going to be on these meds for the rest of your life because there's no cure. So I end up going on these medications. I graduate from college, and then for me, everything changed when I was living on my own after I graduated, because I started cooking and starting to take control of the food that I was putting into my system, doing endurance races, marathons, triathlons, half Ironmans, things like that. Kind of how we converged is that Harry and I were supposed to do a half Ironman together, but I wasn't being super intentional with the food that I was eating. And I actually had a flare up that was so bad I had to miss the race. So that for me was like, I can't continue living my life like this. This is not working.
Yeah.
Like when your life is revolved around having to go to the bathroom and go to the toilet, especially as a man in your 20s, it's not the way to go through life.
Yeah.
And then everything for me changed in 2019. And why I say that is I heard Sean Baker go on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, right.
It was in 2017, but I didn't find out about it until 2019. And he's talking about the carnivore diet. So, all animal products, it's a removal diet. Everything we've been taught about meat is incorrect. It's some of the most nutrient dense foods you can put in your system. But the kicker for me was he started mentioning all these people that were healing autoimmune diseases through this diet. So from my perspective, I'm thinking, okay, if I can get off drugs that are $400K a year that aren't even fully working, like they got me out of my remit, they got me out of that initial flare up, but I still was not great by any means. Why would I not try that diet?
Yes.
So I have like such a vivid memory of going to Whole Foods, getting steak, chicken thighs, eggs, things like that, and just being like, you know what, I'm going to try this diet for 1 week. I can do anything for a week, but what if this actually works? Like there was actually a belief in my mind that maybe this crazy diet could actually work. And literally within the first 2 weeks, it was like I went from going to the bathroom probably like 5-6 times a day down to like 1 to 2. My skin got better. My energy got better. I was putting on more muscle at the gym. Any type of anxiety I had went away.
Wow.
And that for me was the ticket of like food truly is medicine. And now we're sitting here, 5-6 years later, and I'm off of all my medication, no inflammation, no microinflammation, and just living life on my terms. And if I truly feel like nutrition and the food that we put in our body was the gateway to me getting my health back. And that's been a huge base layer of our show. And I know Harry has his own amazing perspective too, but we're just two guys that have like healed and learned through the power of anecdote and story. And it's just amazing what you can do when you take control of the food you put in your system.
Amen. Hello friends, if you enjoyed that clip, then you can watch the entire thing by heading to this link over here, or you can find us wherever you find podcasts by searching Radical Health Radio. If there's value here, please hit that like button, let us know in a comment what your biggest takeaway was, and hit subscribe, support the show as we support you. We'll see you soon.